Or if you're at home, you could use the side of your chair. We're gonna hold onto this with our left hand. So our left hand. It could be a little crooked. It's not like proper posture. So if you're in studio, take a couple steps forward so that you don't kick the chair behind you. As you lift your knee, your left knee as high as possible, keep the knee bent as you kick back. So yeah. Beautiful. So I call this exercise a knee glute. You want to keep the knee bent as we kick back. So it's very weird the first couple times, but once you get the groove of it. So the goal is to lift our knee as high as possible. We actually want to keep our standing right knee just a little tiny bit bent and then kick back to activate our glute. It's very normal to feel an ache in the lower back or a cramp in the hamstring. We want our butt muscle basically to activate. I also welcome you if you want to lift your chest up as you kick back to challenge it a notch further. Try to keep your chest up a little bit more as you kick back. We're going to do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do some wiggles. I know everyone felt like that was really comfortable. Feeling maybe how the hip wiggle changes it a little bit. This is optional. But if you're in studio, as long as you don't hit or break something, you can twirl. This is not yoga. You can have some fun. As much as yoga oftentimes is relaxing, this is definitely mindful, but less relaxing. So let's switch sides. Let's hold on to our right hand now. We'll hold on stabilize with our right hand. Lift our right knee as high as possible. Keep the knee bent as you kick back. Notice how it feels different. Try to keep the knee a little bit more. Yeah. Feel the difference? Awesome stuff, Joanne. I love how you do what you know. You're the true veteran here. You're like, what?
Isn't Joanne?
Yeah. It's Joanne on the TV. She's
not
not a celebrity.
She's on the computer.
All right. We'll do 4. And keep feeling the difference between each side. 3. Sometimes we feel it on the opposite side. Sometimes we feel it much more on the lower back. Last one, sometimes you want to break the rules like Rachel, but awesome stuff. We can do a little twirl. Let's twirl and hip wiggle. Or do whatever you want to do with your hands if you don't want to twirl. You could rub your belly and pat your head. That's an option. Juliana, you should have kept, I don't know if she could hear. Can you hear Juliana? No, she can't hear. She muted us. I was going to tell her something funny. All right. So notice when you do the hip wiggles, when you're feeling the difference, even from when we just started. We just did a few exercises, and oftentimes it feels different from how it started. And let's turn our hip wiggle into a hula hoop, our favorite imaginary exercise, keeping our knees bent as we just literally do an imaginary hula hoop. If you want to close your eyes, you can, but you really want to feel the tightness. Like Rachel, this could be your awesome. Like you could have a lot of feeling in this one. I know you'll feel that tightness. Awesome stuff. And I welcome you to challenge, maybe even point to where you feel it. Awesome stuff, Ashley. Yes, the lights magically come on. We don't know what's wrong with these lights in here. It's a good thing this is the only class we use these lights for. It'd be some trippy yoga if the lights just kept on coming on and on. Let's make sure to go in the other direction, unless you're one of the crazy people that goes back and forth and makes yourself dizzy. Notice how this time you do it this way, it might be a little bit more challenging. Our body picks the path of least resistance automatically because we are a comfort-seeking species. Good stuff. Now we're gonna do something a little bit different. It's not really that weird. We're gonna put our corrective cane to the side. We're gonna play around with a little bit of a thrusting movement and kind of tilting our hips. So, oftentimes when we sit too much, our hips lock up. And it could lock up in many different muscular paradigms. So we're gonna keep our feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna bend our knees just a little bit. We're gonna stick our butt back and lift our chest up. Recently, I've been calling this clicking into place. By sticking our butt out, lifting our chest up. From here, we almost literally wanna just tilt our hips. It's a hard thing to think of. Let me show you the vision of what we're trying to do. So we're really trying to, it's almost like we come forward and it's like we're squeezing our butt a little bit. We're rotating up and then we're coming back and tilting. We're like, you feel almost an arch in your lower back when you do that. I'm still looking for better ways to explain this. But I'm glad you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit. So we're really, some people would call it an anterior and a posterior pelvic tilt, but really when you come and you go posterior, you want to feel your glutes squeeze. Maybe even keeping your knees bent a little bit. And then as you go back, your hips are coming back and you create that tension in the lower back. Give me a little wave if you're struggling, if you don't know what you're feeling. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you're feeling something that you're surprised that you're feeling. Maybe tightness, maybe you didn't realize you were tight in a certain place. Let's go into another hula hoop where we just hula hoop and feel the differences. I just want you to feel any changes that are taking place. Veronica, slow it down. You're trying to do too much movement, not enough feeling. You gotta really challenge the movement so that you can feel it. You're trying to dance. So when you come forward, I really want you to throw your hips forward. Yes, forward. Slow it down even more. Super slow.
If we actually had a hula hoop, it would fall.
Yes, if you really were hula hooping, this isn't an actual hula hoop. And let's make sure to go in the other direction again.
If you had a hula hoop on suspenders, it wouldn't fall.
If you had a hula hoop on suspenders, it would never fall. Unless you fell. All right, let's open up into a Tai Chi twist. And I like to say there's two different versions of a Tai Chi twist. One where you pivot the foot away, and then the opposite foot you want to pivot. Yes, you got it. Yeah, the other version is where you can keep your feet planted on the ground, and you really want to get a twist and feel it in the lower back and the hips. If you're worried about your lower back, you might want to take it easy on that. Good stuff. We'll do this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. From here, we're just going to take that balance and open up the hips a little bit differently. So just knee high, but then let's come out to the side, back to center, and down. So most people struggle the first time until you realize what we're actually doing, and that's perfect. Doing awesome, Ashley. Doing awesome, Nancy. So up, out, center, down. Up, out, center, down. I would actually try to keep on doing it without. I know it's hard. I know. No, you're not gonna fall. You're just gonna struggle. There's a difference. So you might. So we want to find our balance between balance and opening up the leg. Like if you're always going so far that you're falling over, then focus a little bit more on the balance. You'd be good. So up, out, center, down. And sometimes it works better if we make sure that our standing knee has a slight bend to it, because we get worse balance when we have a locked knee. Unless you're really, really skinny, then that's a different story. I've seen, skinny people can lock their knees and not burden their knees. Me, I've If I lock my knees hurt in 5 minutes. Alrighty. We're gonna do a set of what I call posture squats. We're gonna put our hands up like this. Rachel, you got this. Don't go as far down and put 16 times more focus in sticking your butt out. So we want our feet shoulder width apart. We want to have our hands kind of framing our face, elbows in a bit. Stick your butt out as we squat down, and it's not about how far you go down, it's about how hard you squeeze your butt and glutes as you come up. So sometimes I exaggerate by creating that little bit of a thrust movement and squeeze your butt all the way up. If you feel any strain in the knees, the three things we would want to do is maybe put the feet a little bit wider, maybe lift the toes up, and the other one is just don't go as far down. Squeeze your butt all the way up. We don't want to feel it in the knees. We're going to do 45 more, 4 to 5 more, squeezing our butt as hard as we can, 25,000 times harder. It's physically impossible, but we'll do the best we can. Awesome. And when you've done your 4 to 5, just move into some hip wiggles and start feeling the changes that are taking place. How'd that feel, Rachel? Woo! I hope you're feeling awesome after that. I know my hips are feeling loose. My lower back is feeling great. I feel like I'm ready to run a mile. I probably won't because I'm a little bit lazy, but let me know how you're feeling. I'm hanging out here with Kobe Beef, but yeah, let us know how you're feeling. Are you feeling better? Are you feeling worse? After this, I recommend that you try the pelvic band-aid or the butt s'more. You should be finding that video available really soon if it's not available right now. But have a balanced day.